Let's learn how to add various elements using Elementor into a web page. Alright, so I am on my web page called Sample Page, and if you want to know how I set it up, there's another video that covers that. But now that I'm here, you can see there's all sorts of things I can load onto this page. I can have headings, images, videos, maps. I can do, this is Pro, so most of you probably won't have Pro, so let's just close that one up. But we have gallery, so if you wanted to do like kind of a portfolio type of thing, carousel, all sorts of things that you can load in there. And if you have some, if you've added some plugins such as Essential Add-ons, or I have a Elementor header and footer builder plugin that provides you with some extra things. All right. So basic things that we can do. We can add a new container. The container is what we're going to use in order to load those different things. Now to begin with, let's say I'm going to have an image that I want to stretch across. I'm going to select the structure that just has one column, so one column, one row. Okay, so now if I click in this little plus sign, it's going to bring up this little menu. I'm going to click and drag image over here, and I can choose an image. So I choose this image, and I'm going to click select. And now we have an image in there. Now just a quick note that you, when you first bring it in, you'll have kind of an editing area over here, and when it's on content we can edit the size, so we could make it, if we wanted this to be small, we could make it thumbnail and that would be much smaller, or if it's going to be a full width eventually, I could make it, I could say full. You could do a caption if you wanted it to have a caption, you want to write something to explain, a little caption that will go there. And you could even take an image and link it. So if I grabbed the, let's say if I wanted people to click on here and it would take them to maybe a contact page, I would copy the URL of my contact page. I would then say I want to link with a custom URL, and then I would just type it in, or I paste it in here. All right, also style. We can change things here. You can change the width, the height, and so I can do that. So we can do that, and we can do, we can tell it to fill, we can tell it to cover, we can tell it to contain. So you decide what is the best for you, and then you can decide if you want it, what you want the object position. So is it in the centered, top, which right now I think it's centered, or do you want it in the top left, or whatever. And for opacity, you can make it opaque or not. And probably my favorite thing to do would be a box shadow, and I like a little box shadow so that we can get, find that often a little box shadow will provide some amount of helping the page to look like it is, the picture to kind of look more like it's floating on. And here I'd want to do the same amount, so if I do 20, that's probably too much. So let me make it down, let's do 15. So we'll do 15 here. And so this just gives it a little bit more of a 3D appearance. And then if we go to the, also we could have a normal, so it's like this when it's normal, but if we want to give a hover effect, so if there is a link here, people would know that it is a clickable link. I could do something like here. And so when people hover over it now, it could do that. We could have a border if you wanted, so those are lots of things you could do there. In advanced is when you're going to play with the margins. By default, all of the margins are together, and by default all of the padding is together, which would mean then if I change one, they're linked, so it changes everything at the same time. If I just wanted to change one thing, like maybe I wanted it down lower on the page, oops, wrong way, then I could just I could unlink those and only change the margin. And for the padding, if I wanted to give it a little bit more room, let's say I wanted to, so the padding is now, I'm going to give it more room between this and the end of my container. So you can either do that linked or unlinked. I don't really want that there, so I'm just going to X those out, and I'm going to link these again. All right, so those are some of the things that you might want to know that are going to be most useful when you're working with an image in Elementor.